And
And
hello
hello
all, it is
all, it is
I,
I,
Le
Le
Rogueskipper,
Rogueskipper,
appearing to you
appearing
once
to you
again.
once again.
Sorry I missed
Sorry I missed
last week.
last week.
I
I
updated my
updated
computer
my
right before
computer right before
stream,
stream,
and
and
for some reason
for
the
some reason
update,
the update,
being
being
Windows,
Windows,
decided just
decided just
to
to
eliminate all
eliminate
the
all the
programs on my
programs on my
computer. So
computer.
last
So
week has
last
been
week has been
spent
spent
reapplying those.
reapplying those.
You all missed me
You all
paint
missed
some
me paint
bugs. I
some
had it all
bugs. I
set
had it
up.
all set
So
up. So
sorry about
sorry
that.
about that.
I did have a
I
lot of
did have a
bugs to
lot of bugs
paint.
to paint.
I
I
recently went to
recently went
Alliance
to
War
Alliance War
where I
where I
was running
was
24
running
bugs
24
with none of
bugs
them
with none
painted
of
the
them
night
painted the
before.
night
Well,
before.
a few of
A
them painted,
few of
but
them painted,
almost
but
none of them
almost none
painted.
of them painted.
So I was
So
up
I
late
was up
getting
late getting
those done.
those done.
Thankfully, it didn't
Thankfully,
turn
it
out to
didn't
be in
turn out to be in
vain,
vain,
as I did
as I did
win that
win
Alliance
that
War,
Alliance War,
sealing the
sealing the
massive. Oh,
massive.
that
Oh,
might
that
be.
might be. Here, let's testing. Thank you for letting me know. As part of everything being deleted is systems are, you know, still being debugged after we just got it all working. Let me know if that's better. Testing. Hello! I got turbo reverb, so it's still there. That's better. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think it was just pulling from two sources. So yeah. We had the Alliance War. I got first place. I'll be making a little retrospective on it. Unfortunately, I was too busy playing, so I didn't have a lot of B-roll footage of it. But I think I'll be able to cobble something together. My parents are taking my kids, their grandkids, for a little bit next week, so I have a lot of time to get things done. And thank you, Nikatha, for that. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun event. It was kind of one of those things where I brought a competitive army for the event, and I don't think anyone else was. I felt kind of bad. Some people were running like one squad of heavy gruts, one squad of blade gruts, or so, you know. Actually, the closest match I had was my 24 bugs versus the Lich, Scav, and Hellforge. Pretty much was all was their whole list. And it came down to two bugs fighting the Lich. My list was 5 times infantry, Scodire infantry, as well as 3 of each of the common heroes. Really, because it was a 524 event at Renegade pricing. It was also General Wars, so I figured that Raylan and, you know, like even things like Q10 wouldn't be as strong. The biggest thing I was kind of worried about was Zelrig, but Zelrig would have no bonding. So, you know, I was kind of rolling the dice on that. And the Wichita scene, it has some wonky maps, which is a benefit or a downside depending on what you're running. So I'm glad it all worked out. Actually, my brother-in-law came with me, and he got second place. It kind of came down to me and him having to fight off. But at this point, you know, we already did the finals, and I already beat my brother-in-law. We're like, we have a 3-hour ride home. I just want to go home at this point. I give the one to the Verdant Pact. Yeah. I like most of the units in the Verdant Pact, and 2, they need the help. The fact that I couldn't really build a viable army for the format just says that they need that figure. I'm really thinking more practically on it. Like, you know, it's like, you know, what's the most competitive, at least at the time of right now, list for Ular and Aquila? I don't want to run dwarves. I just didn't want to run dwarves. You know, maybe Warriors of Ashra. Maybe, you know, like it's all, I think dwarves are really the best thing they got going for them, and I just don't like running dwarves too much. They seem to work for everyone else, not for me. Let me switch to my second. Oh, not that one. There we go. So we are painting Destro today, in our Scottish gun runner all painted up. I did want to take a quick second and just shout out my sister. Wayward Notions on Instagram. But if you've ever heard of the like Pokénuts, we've kind of been getting into them recently, just buying like they're kind of like fake Pokemon cards on, you can buy online. Someone creates them. My sister decided she was bored and decided is quite loud. We'll get this all toned in. Sorry for your eardrums. But here's some Pokeknot cards. I told her she did too high effort on these cards for me. She randomly generated them all too, so we'd have our own blind packs. And she called it Clerk. We have Reggie Dwayne here. Dromedary. We have Punkabooty, Swampy, and Dewdrio. I love this one. Sandy Storm, which is my favorite Pokemon. Trouples, Frunafracken, and Skittles. So I just wanted to show this off. She spent a lot of time on that, and I thought that was pretty cool to have some custom-made Pokemon cards of my very own. All right, well that's enough stalling. Let's get to painting our little boy here. So we will be using some chrome paint today to really see if we can get out his shininess. Is it still too loud? Let's turn you all the way down. I had all this fine-tuned here, and it is just cattywampus now. But yeah, it was a fun event. Yeah, we're definitely repping the Verdant pack is the way to go. I hope you win, so they can climb the leaderboard. Alright, I really like this chrome paint. It's kind of a little finicky, but it looks so nice once it's applied. It's almost like mirror paint. This is Chrome Metal from Green Stuff World. Just remember, everything's chrome in the future. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it's almost like a one layer covers it type of deal. I'm more honestly testing this out because this has just been on my painting rack for a while. I never have bothered to bring it out. And I'm kind of happy with it. Finally got my airbrush fixed, which is nice. Got the part in. It was just a bent, I think it was a bent hose and a clogged nozzle just kind of combined. So replacing that really got me back in business, which is nice. And now we're just establishing a nice base layer with burnt red. You have a couple, because I went to the Alliance War up in Nebraska too. Got third place for that one, which was a draft event. So I was actually more impressed with myself getting third at the draft event than first at the Wichita event. Just because draft is tough. It's a whole different kind of skill set. So my losing streak is a little bit over, which is nice. It's nice to get some wins underneath the belt. Although I did just lose to Dice today for online league. I was running Deathwalker, the new Deathwalker 10,000, and of course it was paw draft, and I didn't have any good options. And honestly, I felt like the best option was actually to run Quasach into my Deathwalker army, which went about as well as you'd imagine. But it really was more just a combination of really good dice. I was at like 29% defense that game, and there was some crazy blocks. Like I rolled 4 skulls and just 4 shields type of stuff. She did a pretty good job on that one. I've yet to win a game against Dysol. I have like a list of people who I'm like, all right, I just need to win one game against you to to seal my seat, to say, you know what, I won one game. Let's bump up just a tad bit here. How many skulls did it take to kill Deathwalker 10,000? Let's see here. It was, I think it was like a 3 out of 4 skull roll type of deal. I rolled 2. So I survived a couple hits. It's just, like I said, Dice Roll was rolling. There was a point where it was just nonstop 3 skull attacks. Like I took like 3 rounds of just 3 skull attacks, which I blocked. Surprisingly, what lasted the longest was 9K. 9K should have died. Like he was taking like 3 attacks from Quasach, and still stood his ground, which was nice. But at that point, once the Quasach are in your grill, you're kind of done for. I think they're a little too cheap at 65 points in Delta. They have really good stats. But it's nice to also see them be played with, because I don't think they're worth 100. All right, let's get a little bit of airbrush thinner, which I've been using recently. Actually, Dark Leaf gave me this little tip, is use a little bit thinner to thin down your paints, and it's a bit smoother than say, like just standard water or acrylic medium. It gives you a little bit of a thin layers to build up some of these darker tones. Got to run high variance armies like Venox or drones. All you need is a few turn of 3+ squad activations. Yeah. I actually do pretty good at those just because it's like I can't win with skill, but you know what? I'm just gonna let the D20 do the work for me. I like those a lot, and we're using a dark brown gray just to start adding some thin highlights to our boy Destro here. I just wanted to try out new Deathwalker 10,000. I figured I wasn't gonna win. Like his cannon, I was shooting across the map, hitting like 4 people in a turn, but it's more of a gamble than his defenses. Just I never the whole game rolled more than 1 skull for it. So, but I mean, 2 skulls is still a pretty good spot to be in. It's fun. Deathwalker 10,000 is a fun unit. I can definitely say that. Use everything a Deathwalker should be and more. When you layer up black, you want to keep it very, very thin, to the point where it barely shows through. Because you need over half of the model to appear as black. So you really need to preserve those dark tones. And just kind of take your time building it up. The map alignment affects line 10 a lot. Yeah, some maps you can be there in like turn 2. Yeah. I wasn't it wasn't a good map for me, the one I played him on. But he's still a lot of fun. I mean, if you just treat him as a 10 range figure, kind of like you would with Memory, he's pretty good in that role. So I think Deathwalkers are all about risk, and he really kind of compounds that sense of gambling, where every rule you're kind of clenching, just hoping that you survive. Because theoretically, in attacks of 3, you should survive like 80% of the time. Maybe 70 if my math is correct. Yeah, I could definitely see how like some maps are, very anti-Zelrig bomb. I could definitely see some maps being very strongly anti Deathwalker line attack now. Alright, let's take a look at this light gray. And we'll start outlining this. It was pod. I probably should have... So the pods were... It was a tripod build. So tripod... So you had 3 pods, you banned 1. Dysol had 4, and 1 had to be from VC, 1 pod had to be from Classic, 1 from Renegade. So it was 4 times Red Mantis Blade Dancers. The other one was a Scientist Tanuki builds. They had Zed and the new ones, and the Eisen Expedition, as well as some Tanuki, which I just didn't want to... Like, I probably should have gone into them, but the map I was on, just turn 1, Zed can fly them up into height by bush, and they can blast from 7 spaces away at 4 attack. So it was probably just as bad. And then I'm just dealing with, Red Mantis screens, which are pretty nasty, with an army that isn't really designed to deal with those. So I figured by going Quasach, I at least have a few turns to kind of, blast a Quasach before they get to me. I kind of had the control of the range. But I just couldn't kill any of them the first 2 rounds. They were rolling crazy defense. I mean, that 4 defense, plus you get height, and they also had Raylan 2.0, so it's just giving them that big aura. So it was it was an uphill battle to begin with. And when I do kill a Red Mantis, it just rolls a 17 or 19 just to ignore it. I think it came down to there was 4 or 5 saves on the Red Mantis. So it's just I don't like the Red Mantis. Too much. They are just they're kind of just annoying. They're kind of like on my list of VC units. I'm just like, whenever I see someone have them against me, I'm just like, this is going to be a tough game. It's hard to plan around the Red Mantis just because they kind of stick around. And we're using a little bit of this light gray here just to start buffing up these colors just ever so slightly. We're probably going to take black and start toning down a bit once we build up. What's the event what's the next Alliance of War event that you're running or going to? Do you ever deal with 18 dividers with no special tech? Yeah, I've done that before. It's just like, all right. Oh, you rolled another 20. Oh, nifty. So nifty. Yeah, I think wound negation abilities are kind of like the ones I don't like that much. Like I would even like get rid of them. They add such an extra layer of like protection for a unit if your D20's hot, and there's not much you can do about it. In a way, I feel like they kind of like blockade some of the honesty of the game. Like it's all about positioning. Heroscape's all about positioning, and kind of planning around expected results. So you could roll 5 skulls and if something ignores wounds, it's tougher to plan around in the game, which is fine. I like when it works for me though. I like when I'm running an army. I was playing the Durgath Ravagers the other day. That's a army if you're not prepared for. If your D20's hot, because you're just rolling 1 defense. It's just all D20, really, for them. So it's like, oh yeah, here's 5 skulls. I'm going to get through your 1 defense. Nope. Not today. Time Delta plus Secrets of the Citadel Wave stuff. Army has to be one of the 4 alliances. See, the event in Wichita, I wish, honestly, it had more restrictions on the army building, because it was like, it has to be, I think it was kind of a similar format, where it has to be one of the 4 alliances, but you didn't have to include both of the alliances, which it just kind of turned into cheese at that point. Like, I like when army building is really fun if you have a lot of restrictions. I'm not the biggest fan of straight cheese. Like, it's okay. It's just not fun to build an army around. You really have to optimize to the best. 520 points. That's a lot of points. What's the figure limit here? That matters. I like high points and low figure limit. That's like my favorite thing. Like 16 figures and 600 points is like my favorite, probably one of my favorite formats to play into. Especially if it has like rule of 9 or rule 11 or whatever, rule 12 even. It's just, because then you get to bring out the big boys. At least 220 points from each general. Yeah, that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. I kind of like the new, all the General Wars, split General War formats popping up, because there's some pretty good army building there. I think it does become a lot more interesting once the new stuff drops, though. Like the Jandar, Utgar builds, and all that kind of stuff. I personally am sad that we have to wait for so long for the Verdant Pact part of the Alliance to come. I was hoping that we would get some more love for them with the last Renegade Con. But I guess we have to save some time for Sir Gilbert. I gotta say, that was so hard keeping that secret. I wanted to tell everybody. Especially as I saw some people like talking about Sir Gilbert, whether they should buy him or not. And I was like, maybe just wait. Hello, Tails. Hope you're doing well today. We are painting Destro. We're pretty much bringing up all the colors really bright, and then we're bringing them back down to make this black look slightly black. What color is this belt? I think it's gray. I think it's like a gray belt. Yeah, he's got a gray belt. I think his insides are okay, like a orangey yellow. You gotta wonder if Akalar and Hanamoto are getting straight reprints, or 2.0s, Lagler, Ornak, and Gilbert are solid, but those two are Matt. Yeah, it is a big question, because one, Hanamoto is mentioned a whole lot in the lore. Like, a lot of Einar bio has like talks of Hanamoto kind of in the background. He was one of the representatives in the in the peace treaties. I think he's mentioned with the Skodire. So I think he's coming. I think he's just going to have such a cheap cost. I think he's going to be like a 70-point figure or something. But because, I mean, I predict they're going to reprint the Tagwa Samurai Archers just because I think they fill a strong niche that's kind of missing from contemporary, kind of that range anti-melee squad. I guess we have like the Vipers, but it's different. That Counter-Strike threat is because the Vipers are more like last ditch against melee, and TSA is kind of like has to make some strong decision points against them. Especially with how many strong melee squads we have, I could see them definitely coming. So TSA with a really cheap Hanamoto and Nishi is a pretty like it's a viable build, I think. But you would have to be very cheap. Akalar, I think they're going to reprint the Elf Wizards. I think because Torvik's bio talks so much about like specifically calls out like Elf Wizards. Like why make all these wizards? Akalar shows up. He kind of I don't know. It definitely is a question. I would rather just have them make better cards. Like I don't need a 1-for-1 of Akalar because he's bad. Yeah, Vipers can't take a melee hit, but TSAs you think twice before punching them when they have height. Yeah. Vipers are more they can hit into melee, which is nice, but it's different. It's a different niche, for sure. All are still the cost of a mint. Yeah. Doesn't matter how good they are. That's kind of like the thing with the Aquila's Alliance. Is like a lot of those units are pretty bad. Like besides Zelrig and Zetagron, the rest is kind of they're okay, but they're definitely some of the best looking units in the game. Like Wosaga is so cool, but it is really bad. Yeah, I wonder if they'll follow the same formula or try to kind of like do some different things. Because you really have to ask what is needed in contemporary. I probably need to make a video on that too. Is like what should we expect for the reprints? Darn wizards. Yeah. I could see we get some strong wizard utility, like a wizard bonding squad, just since we have so much to maybe buff up like things like Akalar and stuff like that, so you don't have to run them in an elf pod. I feel because you got to think not only of what do people want, what is contemporary missing, but also like theoretical other units that exist. Like the champion bonding units are kind of like work really well with everything that exists, especially with secrets coming out. They fill in some strong synergy chains. The knights are good. You can kind of run knights and paladin. It just kind of makes sense. But like Ular, what are you doing for the big figure for Ular? Phoenix Warlord to buff the Joe Flying common heroes. Yeah. I just don't know if the Phoenix Warlord is I would like to see him return. I just don't know if he's like that rare. Like I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Vinoc. Hopefully he would be reduced priced. If we get like 100-point Vinoc Warlord remodeled in contemporary, that'd be pretty nice. I'd honestly just rather have like Vinoc Warlord 2.0 than kind of a reprint. Because I think he could use a little bit of adjustments just from what he does. Honestly, one that's a little bit more kind of battle-oriented would be nice. Squad of Olar Kairi with the guns. Yeah, the protectors I could see. I definitely think we're going to get Atlaga. Just because the elites just feel like they need Atlaga to work. Like, he's kind of the missing part of their kit. Although I'd be surprised. Like, are we going to get one of the cheapest feel bad abilities in the game? I'm not sure. We're probably not going to get Grimnak. like just classic Grimnack. There's been a lot of tease of Grimnack, the ninth. I think he's going to be the one riding the giant Bronchosaurus. There's like a big figure pack, which would be kind of cool. I'm kind of looking forward to that if that exists. Marcus too to round out. You mentioned every leadership figure. Yeah, I mean, I think the Romans are a really good fit. They fit with all the soldier synergies. Marcus really ties a lot of soldier armies together. But we have so many 4-man bonding squads. Do we need another? Like, are knights that different than Romans? Like on a core, like they are like a little bit, but not like on a niche. I don't know, but I wouldn't mind. I would like Roman archers 2.0. I actually would like Marcus, but not the Romans, and just get like a updated kind of Roman card, like a Praetorian guard or something. Kind of like I don't feel like I need both of them. But Marcus is pretty good with all the soldier cores running around. Faster bugs. Yeah, no Romans, just Marcus. I honestly would rather have Sacred Band, even though they're less useful. Just so, because I only have like 2 squads of Sacred Band, and I wouldn't mind a couple more. But I have like 6 squads of Romans. We need official bees, but that's just me. I wouldn't mind some bees. We also have to consider like the open synergy tags of kind of some units. Like I think we're gonna get gladiators. Why put that gladiator tag on 2 Lord if it's not gonna go somewhere beyond just 1 army corps? And also they're rare and they're good. And a 3-man kind of steamroller squad is different than a 4-man bonding squad. Like it just feels different. But yeah, some insects would be nice. I'm curious where the insects are going to go. Like, are we going to get more insects for Aquila? Or are we going to get more like Einar themed, kind of disciplined insects? Kind of like ants or bees or wasp or something. I don't know. Then we have witches. I think the Revenants need that witch just to tie their whole faction together. When I was playing the bugs at my Alliance War, I work in pest control, so I actually used like bug psychology when I was playing these Scourdire to really kind of, I was like, because the Scourdire are just ants, is what they are. They act like ants. So I was sending out little scouts, in armies that didn't have any range special attacks. Just send out a couple scouts while slowly building it. Like if I lose one, it actually just helps develop my heroes more. So you kind of just get this big pile. You actually kind of, the Scourdire are interesting because sometimes you just would rather have them kill some units, so you can either get a bad spot or just bring out your heroes more. Like getting to move the butt blaster for free sometimes against the right army can be debilitating. Especially if it's like a melee bonding. I played my brother-in-law. He was playing heavy gruts, and I was able to sneak my butt bombers into like a crowd of like five gruts, and you could have disengaged, but there was just not a really good it was a good spot they were holding, so they just kind of got stuck there. And then it was also next to like Grimnack too, and Grimnack couldn't chomp it. It was just they just kind of like they wanted to stay there to try to get rid of it because they didn't want Grimnack to get blown up. And it just creates some interesting decision points, which I like. I'm a fan of the Scourdire. They should reprint the Marvel set just to make some cash and bring in some normies. You know what? I wouldn't mind. I honestly would like the Marvel set to be expanded on a bit. I would prefer just a remake of the Marvel set that's kind of more balanced like G.I. Joe is. But I'll take a reprint. But licensing probably would be a pain in the half. And we're using some Scarlet Red now, just to start bringing up some highlights here. Original planned reinforcements to show up? Yeah, that would be great. That would be nice. Because those were some cool looking models, like the Doc Ock and the Fantastic Four figures and stuff like that. Or the planned Star Wars set to show up. I don't hold my breath, but I would be pretty happy if we got some Star Wars stuff. Like it's not needed at all. Okay. I'm going to use some Legendary Red from Army Painter just to give us our last bit of highlights here. I like Legendary Red. It just kind of captures an interesting tone that's hard to mix yourself. It's kind of like an orangey light red and works really good when you're trying to slightly buff up your red. Alright, we're going to use some silver gray too and mix it a bit in with our, I think our graphite gray. That's from AK-47. Just a lighter gray just to brighten up some of these spots here. Still crazy that Marvelscape launched before the MCU. That is wild. I like how we got Marvelscape and D&Dscape before they both kind of hit the zeitgeist. Part of me hopes we get D&Dscape again. Like, I think I'm the only person that wants that. Just that kind of IP brought in. Just because I think there's some fun D&D figures to have in the game. I don't want them canonical. Like, I just want them, like, just get a lizard folk and a beholder, and I'll be happy. I'd like them to reprint the Gladiatron squads because I don't want to pay so much to get them. That's a fair point. Counterpoint, I hate the Gladiatrons. They're a miserable squad to go into. I don't like squads that if you're just not prepared for, you just can't. You're just gonna have an unfun time. Like Gladiatrons aren't bad if you know you're going to be fighting a Gladiatron, but if you just aren't expecting to see a Gladiatron and they show up, you just don't usually have the tools to take care of them before you're dead. Because the best in terms of output for Gladiatrons is melee bonding. Well, guess what? That doesn't work very well. Maybe Grimneck can chomp them, but even still, like, they just kind of clog up the whole map, and their turns take forever. But they are the coolest looking units of the game, so I can sympathize with wanting to have them at a much cheaper cost too. kind of same with dividers. Like if they reprint dividers, which like that makes sense, I'm not going to be super excited about it. Actually, I will, just because I don't have enough dividers that aren't 3D printed. But I won't be excited about facing them. Oh, Warforged soldiers? Yeah, yeah. Oh, here's my attack as 2 spam squad. Well, too bad. You're not playing the game. Yeah, I love how Warforged soldiers are nearly invincible if your army just attacks with 2. Like they aren't. Like you just have to roll 2 skulls for every attack. I was at ScapeCon and I was running the Morrow Clingers, and pretty much it was just like 2 squads of my Clingers against 1 squad of their Warforged in the end game, and I just couldn't cut through. And they won the game. Nids, that's what I was thinking. Morrow Nids. It's hard for me to think and paint at the same time, y'all. We're spending a lot of time of bringing the blacks up to white and then bringing them back down to black. Is really what we're doing. Is we're just taking these colors and thinly just kind of just building them up, just to add some subtle distinctions to the to how it appears. We're trying to catch just pieces of light while still kind of maintaining that black leathery look of the model. You have a Wizkid's gel cube that opens when you put figures in. I would love a gelatinous cube in Heroscape. I think that would be a very fun model on the board. Kind of like a Krampus style, but like kind of takes wounds while they're on it. Would be kind of cool. I'm totally still not sold on the Krampus. I want to get some games in with them. But it just seems like I'm going to capture your figure, and I'm going to release him at the worst time possible. Type of figure. But I am excited to see kind of a banishment gimmick in the game. I've had a couple customs that kind of are trying to toy around with that idea. It is a mechanically complex idea. Surprisingly, into Heroscape is just taking a figure off the board and then putting it back. Speaking of Krampus, it's June 25th, halfway to Christmas already. We're getting there. We are getting there day by day. I used to throw Christmas and July parties where instead of ugly t-shirt contest, ugly sweatshirt contest, we had ugly Hawaiian shirt contest. And we all would watch, like, listen to the Beach Boy music and, Beach Boy Christmas music. It was a fun time. I'm going to get a little bit of ink on our guy here. But no, I like what the Krampus represents. Like, it's nice to have a holiday-themed figure in Heroscape. The closest, we've had with, like, the Zute, which is kind of like a loose, just because they're more wintry themed compared to actual, Christmas themed or Yuletide themed. We're using some black ink from Chimera just to really smooth these transitions down and make it a bit darker. But also maintaining some of the layers we've been applying. What else do I do besides Heroscape? Well, I am mainly a parent of 3 kids. I have 3 kids under 7, 7-year-old and 2 5-year-olds who are twins. So that's a lot of my time. I also kind of work like 2 jobs. One's kind of like a part-time. I do like freelance editing and stuff like that. And then a full-time pest control in the family business. So that's a lot of my time there. I'm a pretty big movie guy. Like, I bit of a Criterion snob, so to speak. So whenever I can watch a esoteric movie, I'm there. I haven't been able to watch too much lately. I used to play a little bit of instruments back in the day, but I've kind of faded away from that after I started kind of getting some arthritis in my hands. But I used to play guitar and banjo and stuff like that. 3 kids, how do you do anything else? I have a hard time managing one. Yeah, they're a good age though. They're pretty reliant on themselves. They play with each other in the summertime, which is pretty nice. Have I seen Under the Silver Lake? I have heard of it, but I have not seen it. But I could put it on my list. I've been going through recently and just rewatching all the Godzilla movies. I'm kind of a Godzilla fan too. Rewatched Kong Skull Island. Pretty good movie, underrated movie. Recently. We should do film discussions sometime. I would love it. I could talk a little bit too much about film for sure. I wrote a 8-page paper on Napoleon Dynamite. Like I can talk out of my rear end about film. Oh, let's see, what else do I do? I mean, I really do spend a lot of time painting. Like, I paint every day, as much as I can. Just when I'm not like streaming, I'm just more practicing skills or trying new things out. That's kind of the thing I enjoy most probably doing. Did I see Shin Godzilla? Of course I've seen Shin Godzilla. The best Godzilla? Yeah. I was trying to watch, because pretty much when I had the idea, I was trying to watch them all before Godzilla Minus Zero came out in November. One pretty much came out to one a week by the time it did, but I fell behind. So now I'm just kind of watching ones that I'm in the mood for. I like Shin Godzilla a lot, though. Just the music and the metaphor and all that stuff. I think it's a pretty good time. See, Godzilla either has to mean a lot when it is talking about something, like the threat of nuclear devastation or the effects of, armaments, nuclear armaments, or Godzilla has to mean nothing. And Godzilla has to duke it out with 23 monsters on Monster Island. There is no in between with Godzilla. I will say that Godzilla Minus One had a stronger depiction of the effects of the atomic bomb compared to Oppenheimer. I did not like Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was a cowardly movie. Seen any of the Gamera movies? I haven't seen any Gamera stuff. I haven't got to it yet. I know he is. He's just kind of haven't got there. I feel like I have to watch Gamera with someone who's into Gamera to get me into Gamera. Like if I watched it with them, I feel like I'd be hooked. Let's see, what else do I like to do? I used to write back in the day, but I don't do that too much anymore. I do like graphic design. I haven't seen the Godzilla cartoon, Bill. No, but I would like to. Like my list is unending of things I would like to do. Why do you think I stream at 9 o'clock at night? It's not because that's the best time for it, for sure. This is the time where things get a little bit quiet around here. Nope, I have not. They've been on my desk. I really do want to read them though. I was trying to get them done before tonight so I could talk about them, but they're still there. I'm hoping I'm hoping to get them done when my parents taking the kids on a little mini vacation. So that's on. I have a long list of things I want to get done while they're there. My parents are taking the kids to Florida for a little bit, which I'm a little nervous about. Not gonna lie, but it'd be nice to have some time off too. I also like to cook. I've kind of cook and grill and stuff like that. That's become a recent interest of mine. Remember when you was in elementary school and I got home, they were showing the Godzilla movies at 4 p.m. That's the best time. See, I didn't have cable growing up or really much much anything growing up. So I'm kind of retroactively revisiting a lot of things. Yeah, I think the sync was the way to go. We really are able to capture some of the shadows here. See, you could. There's only two ways to paint black. One is to spend too much time on it, or to spend no time on it. There's no in between. That was before cable was available. Back when television, you had to it was hand cranked, right? You had to, like the. I also play Pokemon if I have the time. Use the bunny. That's the way to do it. We have too many options nowadays. You know what? I really miss Blockbuster. And I know I sound like an old fart saying that, but I really do miss it. Like, not even the ability to rent DVDs. I just miss the ability to go to a place and talk to someone passionate about movies and looking for recommendations. Like, whenever I turn on the TV, I'm like, I don't know what even exists anymore. Like, I have fallen so far behind. I can't even have kept up. So just someone whose passion is it and just telling me what to watch, kind of based off a curated kind of list of interests, I long for that. Be kind, rewind. I don't. I'm really bad at remembering movie quotes. I watch a lot of movies and I watch a lot of things. And people are always like, "Do you remember that actor or that quote from this movie?" And I'm always like, "I think so, but I don't know where it came from. I don't have that kind of recall." All my memory banks are stored with knowing the names of Heroscape characters, which I can't even remember half the time. Okay, let's add some highlights on the Cobra case. Probably work on this chest area a bit. Lots of stickers made, it does not matter anymore. And we're just doing all the kind of tiny details now. Just bringing up some colors that, some areas that we missed. Oh, Be Kind Rewind, that's from Blockbuster. Now I remember. Thank you. From the VHS tapes. Yes, I remember now. That's actually what got me into film, was when Blockbuster was going out of business. They had a deal that if you bought 3 movies, you could rent movies all summer long, as long as you went back each day. So I bought 3 movies on my high school allowance that I've always wanted to see. And I rode my bike 5 miles up to the Blockbuster and got just like 3 random movies and watched those. And then when I was done, I would read the screenplay of that movie just to make sure I fully got it. This is rewind tools. But I'm a little behind on the game now. I used to be like back in my college days. I was pretty into it all. But nowadays, I'm lucky if I can watch 2 movies a month. Like movies I generally want to see or care about. And maybe 4 movies a month. Yeah, it's a little low. Have I ever thought about writing a screenplay? I thought about it. I toyed with it. I took the classes. I just, I kind of got married and had kids, and put a lot of those things kind of on the docket. That's kind of honestly part of the reason why I have this channel. It satisfies the need. Like, I didn't go out and buy the hundreds of dollars of equipment for Roguescaper channel specifically. Rather, I spent all that money wanting to make videos, and before I realized what I wanted to do, and I had all this stuff lying around. Because I kind of cut my teeth actually more in documentary filmmaking. So I kind of had some equipment I just had on hand for when I was helping some people shoot some documentaries and stuff, or for other projects. And I kind of just during the pandemic, I did a lot of live stream stuff for people, as well as kind of ran that as a side little business. So really, I had it all lying around in a box, and I was like, I kind of don't want to give up my dreams. I just need to reimagine them a little bit. So that's part of the reason Roguescaper channel came to be. I was like, it keeps me fresh. It helps me not just waste something I'm passionate about. Tales of Valhalla and Heroscape should collab on a movie. Currently writing scripts, a few of them take work. Yeah. One of these days, Tales of Valhalla will have me voice a character. That's on my to-do list. Is voice one of Tales' character, but it's just waiting for the right character to arrive. But the process at this stage of our lives, it's amazing to get anything done. So I am in no hurry. I one of the first scripts I did write was a pilot, like the rough sketches of a pilot script for a Heroscape series. Kind of like really taking its time and following kind of each character, building up into the narrative. But that never went anywhere. My ultimate goal is to do some like 2D animation for Heroscape, like long term. I'm looking into that because I love animation. Mainly Western animation. Not too much of a fan of anime and all that stuff. It's just a different style. Let Roguescaper voice Mittens? Yes. Yes. I mean, I actually really, if I'm not putting Tails on the spot here. We've talked about this before. Tails can do what he wants. Just more for the sake of conversation. I would love to voice the Iron Lich. I love voicing bad guys. Like that's just kind of giving it just you gotta be a ham with some things is fun. Like it's hard for me to be the good guy when I voice things. Did I see the Digital Circus thing? I did watch it. I watched it. Yeah. It's a tough fandom to interact with too fully much on, but I do enjoy the work of the actual project itself. I think the finale really fell flat, but not for reasons people were saying. Just it forgot its narrative core. The finale became more. It's instead of becoming a metaphor for the having a purposeless existence in an empty world, it became a reflection on trauma one experiences, and the result your trauma has on other people. It shifts tones and messaging really strongly, and by doing so, it dilutes its initial conceit a lot, I think. It was well made. I respect those who made it, and it definitely is something that should have been a longer series. I just think it was too much work to do. On a me budget, it could take 50 years, but it'll be done. I feel it. I have so many projects I want to, like big projects. I have just kind of stapled to the board of things I want to do. Just like someday, once I get the time and the motivation. Where to stand on Japanese anime? I really, maybe it gets some people angry. I'm sure there's good anime out there. I just don't care enough to find it. I don't. My wife likes anime. I think anime does well sometimes with storytelling, but sometimes I think anime is bad at storytelling. It's just there's so much anime, and it's such a different. It's not really. It's its own thing. I'm not the biggest fan of it. There's really only 3 animes out there and they're all just kind of a variation of it. But this is from a non-informed person. I kind of like anime movies better than anime series, if that makes sense. Like the old 90s style anime, I could get behind. Like kind of the dark stuff they did. Yeah, there's so much I like some. Like I watched a little bit of Hero Academia until I got bored. Like I just kind of get bored. Just watch Cowboy Bebop. I heard that one's pretty good. I actually in high school, I think the reason I have kind of a sour taste of it in my mouth is I didn't have any friends in high school, so I joined the anime club, just hoping. I figured if there's one place in the world where you're not going to be teased, or at least have some like-minded nerds, is the anime club. But I didn't know any anime. Didn't know nothing about it. They said, "What's your favorite anime?" I said, "Pokemon." Having seen the first season when I was a kid. That or Sesame Street. Those are my two favorite animes. And so we watched it in the club, and I don't know, people were just really into it, and I just didn't get it. I like stop motion, like that's why I like Tails stuff so much, because I just respect how much work it goes. But you know, like Gennady Tartakovsky stuff, that visceral hand drawn stuff, I love. I've seen Fry and Beyond Journey's End. But also, if you like anime, I'm not gonna like diss it. I have nothing bad to say about it. I just think it's the thing that's not for me. Like I love Ghibli movies. I love, you know, all that kind of stuff. But sometimes I feel like anime takes a problem that should be 10 minutes to solve and turns it into a 20 season problem. Cory in the House, yeah, that's the best anime. I feel like he's missing something. I feel like, I don't know, maybe his shoulder pads need to be toned down a little bit. Maybe his hands could be chrome too. Steam Boy is a really good anime film. 9 seasons across 7 continents to figure out that a true Pokemon master doesn't catch them in balls and makes them fight. Yep. I like how they learned that lesson in the first movie, then they made them forget it so they could keep on fighting. I'm using a vortex mixer for the chrome paint. This stuff is kind of clumpy if it sits too long. So don't let it sit too long. It's very dense pigments in it, it looks like. I don't know what's going on with it. It's being funky. I might just go to simple metallics. It's fun though, it's very shiny. Okay, there we go. And we're just using some pure black kind of around these areas just to tighten down these shadows. I feel like I need to raise up the highlights again. I feel like I darkened it too much. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was a fun time. It was my first tournament win actually. So I have to-do list, a Heroscape to-do list I've been working on. So it's nice to cross that one off. I actually crossed off two. One is to make top 3 of a tournament. And the next one was to win a tournament. And I did both for both Alliance Wars. I have some weirder ones though, is to have a Heroscape figure named after me. It's on my list. Trying to figure out how to do that, which I think I have to win a world championship to do that. So that's gonna be a little harder. Another one is to have one of my Heroscape pitches become a unit. You know, one of those for my pitch videos is to become an official unit. And what else is there? I have some other ones. I have to write them all down. Yeah, what was my army? It was 5 times Scodire infantry and 3 times of each of the common bugs. Bye, Tails. Thanks for swinging by. So it was a 24 fig 500 point General Wars. General Alliance War format, but you didn't need to include units from both generals, at least one general from the new alliances. So I just wanted to maximize figures on the board, play something new, and have a lot of recursion in case I went into something nasty, which I had. It got to me and my brother-in-law at the very end, and they're like, because he got second place, he came up with me, and they're like, so do you want to fight it out for first place? And my brother-in-law, this is like his 3rd time playing Heroscape. He's like, I don't really care that much, and I've already lost to you, so I'm willing to concede. We have a 3-hour drive home. If we can get home a little bit early, I'll take that loss. So I was like, okay, I'll take it. It's tough when there's a Swiss format that goes into Top Cut. It's just in terms of timing, sometimes it is hard to. Once you get into like 8 games of Heroscape, it starts getting a little too long. So first army, this will be my pre-prep for the video I plan on making about it. So first army I went off was it was a Revenant army. And I just, one, they had the Nucleaphase, and the Revenant army really punishes you badly for whiffs. Like they put some wounds on the Nucleaphase, and they just blanked like 2 rounds in a row. So I won that one mainly just because of good dice on or bad dice on their side. Like they had a spot where they were gonna breath 3 Skodire in a row. Like they found the line and they whiffed on it. Like it's just, it was tough. And then since they whiffed, they took the wound, and they also spent a little bit too much time developing their acolytes in that build. I think it was 3 times Revenants, acolytes, the Kyrie heroes, and two Nucleaphase. But that one was close. It could have. The player was Josh. Was really good. I just don't think. I just feel like the Revenants give you a lot of risk, but not a whole lot of reward for what they do. Like going from 2 attacks to 3 attacks at the cost of a wound isn't that great. And like it's not like their bonding heroes are that good. I think they're just missing a piece to tie the whole army together. Like I could see them being good if they ever just release a Kyrie undead Kyrie witch that just says all undead within 4 spaces have an extra attack and defense. Then they're really good. Or even 3 spaces. You know, they just need that boost. And then you can weaponize your acolytes. It just kind of needs a passive defense bonus because they have a lot of like good movement tech. But not much more besides that. Next match, I played on a terrible map. I'll post a picture of it later, but pretty much there was road and random water tiles on the road. It should have been an easier match, but plus height in the start zone that you could just sit on and snipe, and not a lot of it was a tough match. So they had 3 times great bows, 1 squad of heavy gruts, 1 squad of blade gruts, and Raylan. They just kind of used the gruts and built a wall, and Tornak was in the build too, and they just built a wall and started sniping with the great bows, but the great bows couldn't output the Skodire. Like once I won an initiative switch and started swarming, that build couldn't hold on for long. Then after that I played into a Maladrix, Bug Ball, Major Q10 build, which was, Major Q10 was tough. He was probably the thing I was most afraid of in terms of the building, but they made the mistake of, because I was kind of holding back, they made the mistake of attacking one of my bugs with a normal attack with Q10s, which caused me to move one of my lurkers forward, win the initiative switch, and then just, get that minus defense from the spitter that was able to move forward behind a wall, and then a height of 5 followed that. Plus the bugs were able to start swarming at that point. It was just, also that was a map with cannons. Cannons were on the map, so I think he was just a little too scared of the cannons, even though he did not need to fear it as much as I did, because cannons would have just wiped my whole army out. Yeah, I don't know if it added an interesting mechanic to the game, but I don't know if it's the best thing to include on a competitive map. But it was fun. Like, I'm always a fan of wonky maps, but you definitely have to be prepared for. And after that, what the hell? I think after that, on to the playoffs. Unless I'm missing one. I think I'm missing a game. I don't remember. After that, went off the playoffs, and my tightest game was against just Eisenet Core. Scav lived with 1 life for 4 rounds. Like, he should have been dead. I was throwing 5 attacks at him, and he just kept on tanking. So he was just able to wipe out so much of my force, and I wasn't able to move him up because of his dang special attack. Like, the Skirdir really are like the Asher is like, just a special attack will ruin your whole plan. Like, you have to take out the special attackers. And it came down to 2 Skirdir infantry versus Iron Lich, and they were finally just one lucky lift got that game for me. But that one was a little too close for comfort, considering I had 24 figures and they had 5. And then after that, what was my match after that? I think that was the one where it was cold at that point, because that was at the top of the list. So fun event. I feel like I'm missing a game or two, but why are maps random? In terms of like selection, or just at this event specifically? Wouldn't generals know where they'd be sending their armies if I... Oh, in that sense. The sense that... Oh, wait. The practicalities of a board game sense. I mean, if we want to justify it, Heroscape as a terrain seems to always kind of be evolving in some way. And according to the map, a lot of it is relatively unexplored for how long it's been around. Like, the whole Volcarian wastelands just kind of appeared overnight. So I just like to believe that there's just a lot of unknown variables. But you do think that a species of flying humanoids would have a better map. Of their area. I wonder if we'll ever get like an expanded map. Like, okay, we've explored the main continent. Let's go to the continent 2. Let's go to Johto now. Now we've explored Kanto. I feel like I'm missing something here on him. Still know what yet. So to do cartography while you're flopping about. I suppose so. I suppose that makes sense. I'm just sad they didn't release the Green Knight figure at EscapeCon. I love the Green Knight as a myth, and the movie itself was pretty good too. All right. I need to go a little bit more in the highlights. Just a little bit. And, you know what, let's go a little bit Payne's Gray. Paint his necklace. Oh yeah, he does have a special family heirloom, doesn't he? What color is his necklace? Yeah, just a little bit of cool tones, I think, will help us out here. Let's see here. What does Destro's necklace look like? Oh, it's like... Is that his... Okay, so question. Is this more like an open tunic, or is it like a yellow a yellow thing underneath it. I can't tell, or is there two versions? Is like that his chest, or is that like a skin tight shirt? Oh, Bill, fact checking my joke. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Vidar having a space station. I still don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I'm going thin enough here. All right, there we go. We just need a couple more highlights. There we go. Kind of give it a bit of that sheen. There we go. This is helping just define his volume a bit better. And we'll just add a little bit more white values to this. Just define some edges. I have a different color pattern for Destro. I'm kind of keeping him by the book here. It's tough. I don't know enough about G.I. Joe to do fun alt schemes. I also just wanted some practice painting black before I paint the Baroness and Snake Eyes. See if I can get some refreshers on it. I haven't painted in a while. Pimp Daddy Destro. I think you've mentioned that before. If I get a different Destro, I will paint a Pimp Daddy Destro. Yeah, that is pretty good. That's a lot of work, though. I don't know if I want to paint a leopard print on Destro. That's just a lot of... I do like the gold chrome, though. Sorry, I'm not talking as much. I'm just trying to focus on this lighting and blending here. Just adding some of these midtones, I think elevates his standard black apparel. If you want to be really fast and easy with it, though, just do a heavy dry brush of white, and then just do black contrast paint, and you'll have a really good volumes and layers as well on it. Really just being extra on this when I don't need to be. Sometimes it's hard just to commit to doing something simple. Our Beachbody Destro. What do you all think of the students that were released? The more I think about them, the more I like the students of whatever, of chain whip swords or whatever. I think they're gonna be pretty good. It'll be fun to paint. You know what? I'm happy with that. This adds it makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. Just having these blue tones. Blue is a really good color. Blue or purple is a really good way to build up. Black coloring. Let's do a bright silver for his necklace. I think it's a bright silver, right? Yeah. Okay. And just doing some silver for his arm cannon thing. Okay. We'll touch them up. How about a chartreuse destro? That's hard for me to say. Chartreuse destro. It's filled with coffee. I probably shouldn't be drinking that at 10:37 at night, but it's okay. I don't really sleep. Okay, I think that's a pretty good stopping point here for tonight. I'll clean up a little bit, go over some areas I missed, but for the most part, I think we made some pretty good progress in our boy Destro here. Got some good blends going. We can take these as far as we want, or not far at all. That's up to us. Bornstein's masterpiece can benefit from Dorm's charge. I have a new series I'm scripting out I want to work on. It's going to be called Hex Tech, where I take a unit and I just explore what that unit can do, not necessarily what you should do with it. Like, I want to talk about what crabs can do, or what the Kraken can do, or even Dorum has a lot of weird things it can do, and none of them are good. But I'm starting to script that out for all these wonky units. Wait, how does it get the chain? I don't know. Wait. How does more masterpiece benefit from Dorm's charge? Is it just because? How does this work? Is it if you go with Dorum, and then your opponent goes with Morenstein's masterpiece, and then Morenstein betrays, and since you haven't revealed another order marker yet, Dorum needs to be bankrolled. Okay, that makes sense. That's even twistier now. Baroness leads with Dorum. Let me look at Morenstein's masterpiece. The work you do in the books, Katha, is much appreciated. When I work on the Hex Tech video for Dernipa, I will I will give you a call out, because that was an impressive book, and I'm sure it's just growing. Let's see here. Now I got to read this. All right. Oh, so you take a turn with. So you go with Baroness. You bankroll Morenstein's masterpiece. You go with Mindbender. Says Mindbender is a scientist. Then that's how you get it. That makes sense. I forgot about the scientist energies. I guess. Oh, it's of all your. So, does charge work with Morenstein's masterpiece too? Just if Dorum goes, then Morenstein's masterpiece gets to go. Let's say they take a turn with a wizard and betrays them, and you take a turn with Morenstein's masterpiece. Do you get to move Morenstein's masterpiece one additional space? Or is the phrasing there to prevent that? Because of all your army cards is increased by 1. Is it considered your army card in that situation, or no? Maybe. That seems pretty fitting. That's a good one. All right. Well, I think I'm out of talking steam here. So I hope everyone has a good night. Thanks for the conversations. Thanks for your patience as I figured things out in the beginning. I got piles of stuff to do, so I actually might be doing a couple more infrequent streams these coming days, just as I honestly have a lot of stuff to get done. I am swimming in Necrotech Reavers I have to finish, and you know what? You will help me get it done. All right, everybody. Good night. Keep on scaping on, and I'll see you all around. Thank you. You all take care.